Is your own voice powerful enough to raise one hand clapping up to the sky? Let's find out in this quick review of Bad Dream Games' new title, One Hand Clapping. One hand clapping is not your typical 2D platformer. While running and jumping are standard in platformers, one hand clapping sets itself apart by letting you solve all the puzzles in the game with your voice. Sing, hum, beatbox, or just screech, one hand clapping takes that sound and makes it its very own in-game mechanic. Set across 6 different biomes, one hand clapping puzzles start off so simple that playing the first stage alone you would think it's an extremely novel experience. The first stage only requires you to make some noise into a microphone to power lights and platforms, allowing you to progress. This, however, quickly changes as each new biome ramps up to more difficult puzzles. You'll start building bridges to cross wide gaps, controlling the peaks and valleys with your pitch, sing too high and the floor is too steep to walk up, or sing too low and dip so far down that you can't jump to the next platform. Occasionally, they'll add obstacles in the path's way, so you'll need to sing higher or lower just to avoid being blocked. Another example of more complex puzzles comes later in the game, like matching pitch to raise and lower platforms, or matching beats to make obstacles appear and disappear to the beat. There are no time limits on these puzzles, and any puzzle can be instantly reset with the press of a button. One hand clapping is meant to be a relaxing experience and let you progress at your own pace. However, since there is no sense of urgency and no real story to the game, it makes the experience feel a little hollow and, pardon the pun, but one note. While each area does have different puzzles to solve and new mechanics are thrown at you, I couldn't get engaged and found myself wanting to turn the game off after short sessions of about 20 to 30 minutes. Finally, since all this hinges on using a microphone and your singing ability, how well does that aspect of the game really work? To be honest, I had very mixed experiences with it. I am by no means a singer, but I understand the fundamentals of music and I'm not sending people running away at karaoke night. But I did have a lot of issues getting the game to do exactly what I wanted. An example of this is a section where you're using different pitches to activate round dots inside platforms to make them move. These dots are positioned in low, middle, and high spots, so you quickly discover singing and holding a low note activates the bottom, slightly higher gets the middle, and higher than that gets the top. Great! However, even though I knew this and was trying to make the same pitches for low, medium, and high, sometimes it would pick up my voice and activate, or it would for a fraction of a second, but not sustaining it long enough to actually activate the note. This would force you to then start again. This happened in each section that I played. When flying through the sky again using pitches to move the character up or down to avoid obstacles, the controls never seemed precise enough to actually avoid the obstacles. I would either fly too high or too low, right into another obstacle that I was trying to avoid. I tried using 2 different headsets with microphones and even just the PS5 controller's built-in microphone, and none seemed to perform any better than the other. What was most frustrating about this was simply the fact I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and if I had traditional controls, I would have easily and happily been able to complete the puzzles a lot faster. Sound design in one hand clapping is an odd one for me. Being a musical singing game, I thought the music would have been front and center. While there is great musical score to go along with each area that matches the tone of what's happening around us, the volume of the music is so low that most of the time I could barely hear it, which definitely seemed odd to me. The other odd thing I found with the music design is that since the music is so low, and you're supposed to be singing to solve all these puzzles, I was constantly just making up words and singing them for what I needed to do. If I needed to hit a low note, I would sing low, or high, or I would resort to humming, but I always felt a little self-conscious and strange making this noise to myself. If the music were louder and I were singing along to something, I feel it would have made the experience a lot nicer. One hand clapping has a pleasant 2D, simple art style that I really do like. The characters are cute and distinct, and the biomes have a very different color palette, making each area feel unique. It's really fascinating to watch as the main protagonist's mouth moves as you sing, and there are many easily identifiable visual cues to help with each puzzle. One hand clapping does include a platinum trophy in its 29 trophies. The trophies are fairly standard, with one for completing each biome, another for finding glyphs in each region, and then the rest being specific activities that you need to do in each area. Some of these are fairly difficult as they require you to complete certain puzzles with very high accuracy or without any errors at all. There is a checkpoint select, which makes revisiting and replaying these sections easier, but being as precise as the game wants you to be can be really difficult. I really applaud Bad Dream Games for this interesting idea, and I really want to like one-hand clapping. The puzzles are varied and interesting, the characters are cute, and the world looks amazing, and I'd really love to explore it and learn more about it. However, the imprecise singing controls get really frustrating, and with not much story to really dig into, I just couldn't find myself becoming invested in the game. I would give One Hand Clapping a rating of 5 out of 10. The creativity of both the characters and environments, as well as the puzzles and simply doing something different than most other games, makes it something I think that is worth giving a try. However, the imprecise controls, the lack of story, and just how slow the gameplay is stop this game from hitting that high note. One Hand Clapping is available now on PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, Android, iOS, Steam, Epic Games, Good Old Games, and Stadia. I want to thank HandyGames for providing me with a review copy of One Hand Clapping on PS4, and thank you all so much for watching. And as always, happy gaming.